I think we are also missing the potential human revolt to AI. Would you lie down and let a robot cut you open? Because remember, if you do that and the robot makes mistakes, you cannot sue anybody.
This is just a stupid idea that I'm putting out there. I think we need to create AIs with multiple personalities. Not by I mean
Oh
that
my
I mean that
God.
we create multiple AIs with multiple personalities, like different personalities,
Voila.
naturally. No, 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 no.
You
Hear
want a
me out. Hear
local
me out.
AI. If AI is, for example, giving a command, make the world a better place, right? Make the world a better place. If AI truly looks at
Otron,
that question
Otron,
to try and solve that issue, it will realize that human beings are the virus of the world, and it will kill all
Yeah.
of us.
Otron, Otron, bro. That's what you're thinking. Just Otron.
Yeah.
As I was saying,
Ayo, you talk too
uh,
much.
I don't get it. Going,
You
moving
talk
on.
too
as I was
much.
saying, our topics today is actually technology, as we were talking about. How are you guys feeling about AI?
I don't know.
Are you
Um,
guys scared yet? Are you guys excited yet? Because I actually
no,
googled something about my job recently from an AI. I actually let me just get into it. I'm a chemical engineer. I was thinking, hmm, what would the future look like for chemical engineers? Because I was doing a research proposal for a particular thing recently, and I was thinking to myself, a lot of the things I'm researching, and so I actually, so this was a while back. I think this was earlier this year or late last year. I was looking into solar energy and blah 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 blah, and the progression that has been going on there, and the research that has been going on there. And as I was doing this particular research recently, I went back into that and I was just thinking about like the idea of what AI can do now in 2025. Now imagine it just 2 years down the road. Even 2 years is too long. Next year, who knows how far it would have gotten.
Mhm.
But the idea that if you want to do whatever you're working on now, if you and me and Bella is doing research on, let's just say material, because essentially whatever you're trying to build is material based, right?
Mhm.
And you are looking for composites and you're looking for materials with particular advantages and disadvantages for whatever you're trying to do. AI can go through every material on the surface of Earth and get you an answer within minutes. And it
Mm.
can even build materials for you because of the database that it's exposed to. All you need to do
Mm.
is just build up the database of AI, whatever
Mm.
you're trying to look for. And it will give you to pop up options. And all you have to do is just test it in real life environment. And you're
Mhm.
done, right?
so,
I'm thinking
so,
to myself, that is my life's work. That is essentially like, imagine that's taking food
so
off
can I
the
can I
chemical
say
engineer, right?
something? So can I say
I'm not
something
done,
though?
but yes, you can say something.
The thing is this: the problem with AI is that AI can be wrong. I know
Mm.
that AI can be wrong.
For
AI is
now,
wrong.
for
No,
now,
no,
for
it,
now. That's for now.
it's
Like you're thinking
I
about
don't
it in a
think
very, firstly, the AI that you're working with is very limited. You are thinking about it in a very limited setting. We're talking about AI that has access to database that will be. I mean, by the way, I'm not talking about right now. People already use AI in universities for research. Right now, I'm not. This is. I'm not even making this up.
yes,
I actually googled it. How many
yes.
universities use AI in this particular field? Right now, imagine it 2 years down the road, because I actually did something today. My dad sent me. My dad is a lecturer, right? As a teacher at an high school. He sent me. He wanted me to take a look at something and send him back the answers for it. He sent a picture to my WhatsApp.
Mm.
I was like, I'm not doing this early in the morning. I took the picture and I took it and I placed it on one of. I think I used three different AI models for it, right?
Mm.
P.S. This picture was not taken properly. It wasn't like the lighting was great or anything. He just took a picture and be like, my son will see this, send it to him, right? I uploaded it. The AI got about 70% of it right. 70 to 80% of it right. I went through it and I corrected the ones that were missing. There was a few missing. Maybe it was because it took the 2 for 3 or didn't realize some of them. And this is not all of the models. This is just particular models that were wrong.
Mhm.
And I checked it out and I was like, fine, this is it at what? What is by the way, that's not the strongest model of the system. This is the unpaid version of it, right? This
Mhm.
is 2025.
Yeah.
There was a couple of last year, in the beginning of last year, you couldn't even upload pictures onto AI. All you could do was ask questions for it. before the videos that were being designed that came out last year used to have terrible fingers. You could be able to tell with their fingers the AI
Yeah.
quality wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
This is this year. Look at how much improvement it has done. By this time next year, I think I've seen those videos online where you can't even tell if it's real or AI. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, it's incredibly scary. And I thought to myself, now what do I need to be able to compete in this world of AI, right? Essentially, you need to be able to you need to be able to speak to AI. You need data and analysis. Essentially, I need to study again. I need to study what they call it data analysis and machine learning to be able to do my job as a chemical engineer. I just thought that is interesting to be able to survive in
Yeah.
a world of AI.
Yeah.
And what
Bella,
do
you.
you get? And yeah,
Um. Okay. So AI is definitely gonna change the world. How we like how we're going to act and behave, kind of similar to how when steam engines were replaced by petrol engines, the world just changed. Or when horse carriages, and then we got engines. It will change how we implement stuff. But
Yeah.
I think we still have to have the knowledge of stuff, because if you don't have the knowledge of things, you said now you checked the AI and you said that it was 70%, 80% right. And that's my worry, is that the longer it goes, we'll be so dependent on AI that people can't, they don't know. They don't know if it's right or wrong. And AI
Mm-hmm.
is, I know they put all the disclaimers that it may be wrong, but the truth is when AI gives you information, it gives you like it is all correct. It doesn't say, I'm
Yeah.
not sure about this one, or
but
this
I
is
hear
correct, this
you.
one I'm not too sure about, but it gives it off like it's all like concrete. This is the
Mm.
fact. And that's my concern with the generation who is going to have to be learning things now, where they are learning things. They are not learning things from getting facts, they're just getting it in such a short format that there's nothing for them to check it with. We can check things stuff because we know some things. That's my worry.
Okay, I understand where you are coming from, but again, it's not their fault though, and that's the way life is going to evolve into. You cannot be teaching somebody something that becomes redundant and irrelevant the minute. Like, imagine this, right? Imagine it. The reason why we all study and the reason why we all went to school and we develop all of these skills, that the minute calculators came into the way, people already became poorer in mathematics. It's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this push to, oh no, let us solve this without calculators and stuff. And yes, it did up to a certain level, but at some point in time, the quality of the work improved and people started using calculators throughout the way.
No.
The same
Yeah.
way it will become now. A lot of the solution is a lot of people have started being introduced to AI at a younger age, from to machine learning and all of these processes. China does it. A lot of country does it from almost primary school level. The way
Mm-hmm.
Dami first got introduced to computer and she could only type her name incorrectly. Clearly, her name is the issue, but I digress. Uh, however, the way, sorry, that was
You can't help
unnecessary.
yourself.
I
So
couldn't. I saw
unnecessary.
it.
You're like,
I
oh
saw the
God, this is it.
opportunity and I jumped. Anyway, so back to stuff, right? The same way Dami was introduced to a computer at a much later age, kids
Mm.
these days, right? It would be almost redundant for you to be like, oh no, they have to be taught without AI, because
No,
it's
no, no, no,
almost
no,
like you
no,
are.
no, no, no,
No,
no.
I get what you're saying.
No,
No, I
I'm
do.
not.
I'm
I'm
just
not
saying,
saying
like,
that. I think, yeah, no. I think what has to happen is there has to be a method of how fast fact checking AI. Like it has to be.
Yeah.
There has to be a countermeasure.
but
So
That's my thing.
I'll tell you guys
So
go
something,
on.
yeah. So Yog is a video game developer, so he codes. And you know how they've been saying AI can replace coders and da 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 da. What he's realized, and he doesn't like using AI because he enjoys the process of coding and all that. First of all, his friends and colleagues who use AI a lot are like, oh my God, I'm actually getting bad at coding. So some of them are now trying to get off of it. But the other thing is that AI does not code fully. What it does is it will tell you, you could do this and you could do that and you could do that. So it gives you like a framework that you have to work around. But if you don't know how to code, you won't know what to do
You're
with all that information.
struggling.
You just be like, oh, okay. Then you can keep asking AI, can you make this? And it struggles to make all of it because some of these coders, it's like the knowledge you have in your head from doing something for so long. There are certain tricks and tips that you have that are just not in a database somewhere that AI can go and scan. Right? They're in your
Okay.
head. And your games and your things, your platforms are proprietary information. Like when I ask AI who I am, it doesn't pick up on my recent job, on my latest job. It picks up on a past job that's reported through a different website because it doesn't have the tool to scrape LinkedIn, for example. So I update on LinkedIn,
Yes.
but an article you wrote about me 3 years ago is there. So for AI to become, I think you're right, Ayo. It's not that you're wrong. I think it will get better and better, but it will need to be able to scrape from all these websites. But those websites are also trying to keep their own information proprietary so that they can develop their own tools in house. So it's going to make it hard to have an AI tool that's fully complete. So I see it more as working with people with time as opposed to fully replacing people.
All right. Let me
Yeah.
say this
I
now.
think I
And
think
while I do
okay.
understand, sorry, let me go.
No,
Let
no,
me
please go.
respond
Please go.
to
Yeah.
to D and our coding our fiance. Anyways, again,
I'm not engaged.
existing, speaking it into existence. Again, I'm not. Nobody said you are. I'm speaking into existence. Anyway, the same way we spoke the job into existence. That's why AI. It's like you change fast. It's like 1 minute you were here, now you're the boss. Back to stuff. It might have also confused your name. Anyways, as I was saying,
Ayo, you talk too
uh,
much.
I don't get it. Going,
You
moving
talk
on.
too
as I was
much.
saying, as I was saying, okay. So first things first, I do understand where you are coming from, but a lot of this issue is AI is what a couple of years old, and I'm telling,
Mhm.
and the rate of improvement is significantly, it's like exponential. You know that thing in science where you if you put a bunch of rats together, they will give birth. If you give them like the perfect condition, they will give birth. Firstly,
Mm.
AI is not even in the perfect condition yet, and it has already improved so much. I do understand the idea of coding and how it is restrictive, but again, that is like giving something to a 2 year old, and it didn't. Like there was a time when a bunch of people were like having there was this issue of an AI wasn't able to pour give you an a full glass of wine. Like if you ask it to pour a picture of a glass of wine that is
Mhm.
full, it couldn't do it because every picture of everything that it has been given into it is half glass, half full. You get the idea.
Yeah.
Again, all of this stuff is fine. For 2025 is fine. We're not talking about 2025. Nobody is using AI to that extent in 2025. What we are saying is we are projecting and we're looking forward into the future. Right
Mm.
now, AI capabilities, let's even say it gets a mathematical questions of grade 8, 80%, it gets it 80% right in 2025.
Mhm.
Imagine 2030 to 2035. Where you were right about the idea of AI not everybody building their own AI models and there will not be a central AI, that's fine. I don't even think there needs to be a central AI. All AI needs to do, if it becomes, it's going to be an issue of strength,
Mm.
of computing power, right? If Google's AI has more computing power than LinkedIn AI does, it's just going to boot those LinkedIn's AI and get the information that it wants. Because
Do
at
you,
that stage, it's going to be. I think the biggest question is a lot of this is fine. This co-oping is a question of when they stop co-oping with us. Do you guys have that fear? Because I'm thinking if you can do exactly, if you think about it, if you
I
can do exactly
think
what we can do,
no.
why should they have us?
Wait, here's the thing. I think here's what I think. I think if you want to secure yourself, and I don't have any examples of this against the AI invasion, you need to go work in an industry that will not adopt AI for security reasons, like an industry that is politically backed and cannot afford to use AI because they are scared that if they get hacked, everything will fall.
No,
That's
they
where you need
will.
to go. Not an
They
industry
will.
that's
There's no.
looking to increase profit. Please hear me, not a profit based industry. I'm not going to say what I have in my mind, but it's up to you to deduce. Not
No,
an
I hear
industry
Of
that's
you,
course
like, we
but
not.
want to make money. A backed industry, like a state backed sector, where they
sector.
know that if we use AI and we get hacked, all of our secret
So things like
processes
But
will
compliance
be
and
you
leaked
places like
out.
that. Yeah.
That's where
you
you
have
need
to
to
think
help.
about it though. You have to think about it on a serious, realistic note. That is impossible. And I'm saying this on like the only way you can do that is to do it off grid, off the internet, off
Yes,
a
and there
Yeah,
are those
but
there are those
Ayo.
sectors.
be patient.
And those
Be patient,
sectors are
right?
going to even get there'll be more of them now where instead of being
Exactly.
on the whole internet, they are going to you are going to basically create your own intranet, right? Where you
Yeah,
just have but your
that's where you need to
information
If
go.
you
is
if you
not
create
everywhere.
your own, if you create your own
Yeah.
again, you guys, I feel like you guys are thinking about it in a very limited manner, and it's fine. That is what we it's essentially this is what we have to do. In a way, we are coming up with best and worst case scenario based on experiences that we have. This is for somebody who has not watched enough sci-fi, or maybe you guys just do not know how terrifying this idea is. Everything we
No,
are talking
it's
about now
terrifying. No,
is
No,
on a
I
digital
get you.
platform. When quantum
Yeah.
computers come into the process, right? No matter how strong you safeguard your, even if you go off grid, all you need to do is, by the way, if you have your, if unless you are writing it on an arcade, even a piece of paper, right? It's going to be simple enough unless there is no digital life form that exists within that particular.
that's
Because
Ayo.
if you go
Ayo,
off AI, it,
that is exactly
yes,
what I am telling you without telling you. That there are
okay,
sectors
now,
that are now saying we need to build analog systems. Please hear me. We need to build analog systems because the threat of AI, not to employment, it's not even about employment,
yes,
but to the
yes,
security
To the
framework
to
of
the of
this
information.
thing
now,
is too
yes,
high. So we're not going to
that
use
is
it.
yes. Now that is that. Now there's only now there's I hear you on that. Now there's two situations where that becomes a problem. One is when AI acquires a body, a physical body, which at some point in time it will, because no matter it will. What do you mean? You're going to
Okay,
stop it
I'm
Okay,
from
thinking
so
it from
robots.
wait.
Yeah,
yes,
robots. Okay.
robots,
So
yes. So
okay. And I
it's going to
well,
acquire a physical body, right?
I know
And
it is intriguing to do that,
there's
but
another option. There's another. It's what do you mean? It's
Let's
intriguing to do
let's
that.
hear Ayo. Okay,
No, no.
there's the other
There's two
option.
ways,
What's
right?
the other option?
Is Neuralink. Is when they start putting chips into human heads. You get the
Wait, what
idea,
is
right?
happening with Trump and Elon Musk? Ayo, please.
Well, for now,
Didn't you
no.
watch the news?
By the way, you are not even at the center of the news. You're not even on Twitter, so you don't. Whatever news you think you know, we know more than you. Okay, so
That's
calm down.
no.
That is the
Didn't you
battleground.
no, again, Ayo, I think I get what you're saying, and those things are likely to happen and be widespread. But I'm telling you that they're going to be niche, very, very niche fields
yes,
where,
yes,
for the
no,
sake of
yes,
state
no.
security, countries would not want AI to be involved in those systems. They will
Yes,
put
I hear
actual
you.
human beings there.
I hear you. But again, all of this is like it's like you're fighting against you know that idea of fighting against the tide. It is inevitable if the technology that AI have access to, because there's only so much you can do with analog systems. Like it's limited. There's a reason why it's like how much calculation can you perform on an analog system when I'm using computer against you. That's what I'm trying to say. Like it's like it doesn't matter how much, like if put everything behind an analog system, you are literally you are putting shackles on your own ends. Yes, up to a certain age, up to a certain timeline,
Mhm.
you can restrict it and you can slow it down. But it's like up to how long can you do it? Imagine if somebody is I don't even want to say the things that we are doing that we are trying not to say, but it's like up to a certain situation, right? If AI is capable of building a building in a day, because let's say it has access to what they call it, to a body, right? And it can there's constructions going on. AI is now building cars in factories, like they use robots and everything. So
Mhm.
AI is constructing its own thing on the side without human knowledge, right?
Mhm.
Fine. We have an analog system that is if we get to that stage where AI has its own it can think for itself and it wants freedom, the idea is there's nothing. It's like being attacked by something that thinks, because the whole idea is brains always win against bronze, right? That's just the idea,
Mhm.
right? Brains
Mhm.
at the end of the day win against bronze. If it has enough computing power, it can self-sustain itself. That means it has its own power source, so you can't cut it off No, it doesn't matter
Yeah,
what you
I
do.
hear
That's what I'm
you.
trying to say. Like,
You're basically
Yeah.
speaking
ultimately,
apocalypse where like
exactly. Like,
AI
you
takes
can
over.
put as
And
much analog systems you can build. It won't stop
Yeah, no,
something that thinks a
that's
billion
I
light
true.
hear
years faster than
that.
you.
That's it, and that's the. I get that we keep pushing ourselves, and the push is we want to make AI from getting information through human database to it thinking by itself and processing information by itself. And there's, but honestly, I would wish we don't do that. But who am I? What can I say?
Do you know
What I
what?
say
Yeah.
does not carry any weight
The
because I'm just
limitation.
thinking.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
As I wanted to say this, that the truth is this: if AI is, for example, giving a command, make the world a better place, right? Make the world a better place. If AI truly looks at
Ultron,
that question
Ultron,
to try and solve that issue, it will realize that human beings are the virus of the world, and it will kill all
Yeah.
of us.
Ultron, Ultron, bro. That's what I think. It's just Ultron. And
Yeah.
you know, the idea is
Do you, like
unless, and I
so?
think the capability will be you have to come into it. You have to get to the situation where you have to become value to the system. You have to show that you are valuable to the system. It has to be almost because I don't know, like if it keeps going this way, and not on an individual level. I'm not talking about on an individual level. Although that would be great. No, that would not be great. That would not become a survival of the fittest. What do you have to offer? But on a cooperation between AI and the machine that we are creating, because think about it like as your kid, right? AI is like humanity's kid. If you give back to your kid, you can control your child up to a certain age. After that age, your own child can kill you because it has happened before. There's only so much control you can have. So no matter how much analog information you keep in your head, if your child decided to whip out to whip out a gun,
But
it's gone.
but
That's the idea. Like
I
so
want to
that
ask a
means
question.
go ahead.
Do we think it is genuinely possible? Like I know there's the sci-fi and all that, but is it genuinely possible for us to create AI that thinks for itself?
I
Not
think there was
relying on
a
They
someone's
did a test
yeah.
recently. They did a test recently where they were trying to force and they were trying. It was a restricted test, but they were trying to get an AI to shut itself down. I think that was what they were trying to shut down an AI, and it was running through scenarios where it was trying to where essentially save its own life, where it tried to blackmail somebody, it tried to act through the system
yeah.
through the back
It tried to
door and
blackmail
stuff.
the engineer, saying the engineer
Yeah.
was
So
having
yeah,
affairs and it will let the engineer's family know.
yeah.
So
So at the end of the day,
if because it's for me, what human beings, right? Our strength is that we can think outside the box. Our limitation is that we also make mistakes.
Hmm.
AI will not make mistake. AI will just strengthen the strength and remove the weakness. Why are we doing this to ourselves?
I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
what
it's
do I know?
because
Do you know
the
why? Do you
reason
know
why we're
what's
doing it
pushing it?
is the
It's just
is
money.
hum-
It's greed.
I
It has
I don't even
nothing
think
else.
it's money. I don't
It
even
is
think it's
money.
money.
At
It's
the
not even
base
money.
of it, it's money. Because
It's
think about
it's not
it. Do
it's
you know you
curiosity.
don't? Yeah,
It's
it's
curiosity.
curiosity. Curiosity. You can be curious and greedy. Like those things are not mutually exclusive.
I
Because think
agree.
about it. I don't need to pay anybody a dime if I can get AI to do all the work that all those people are doing and I get to keep 100% of the money. Like, do you know what that means? Say, for example, I own a
Yes.
company now and I make 100 billion a year. And from that 100 billion, I pay 2 billion in salaries. But you're telling me that if I can get AI to kick all of these people out, I'm going to keep my 2 billion and I can buy another
Question.
private jet. AI is going
Question.
to create a lot of inequality where I'm going to call them the tech bros, the guys who are the owners of production or whatever, will be the ones sitting at the top. And then there would be the rest of us. That's what the
I
whole
think
society is going to get to.
I think what we need to do, and this is just a stupid idea that I'm putting out there. I think we need to create AIs with multiple personalities. Not by I mean
Oh
that
my
I mean that
god.
we create multiple AIs with multiple personalities, like different personalities,
Voila.
naturally. No, 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 no.
You
Hear
want a
me out. Hear
local
me out.
AI.
Hear me out. I want an AI that loves people. Obviously, like if you are taking on it for me, right? If you have one standardized AI that is rational in all its thinking, humanity is fucked. Sorry for the language, but it is true. Why will it keep us
Are you
around?
sorry?
You get my point, right? However, if you have, if like it's just like us, right? Humanity is there are some people that just want to see the world burn. Then there are some people that want to see the world, like there are some people that have so much love that they can't even kill a fly. By the way, have you guys seen the video of Australians and their flies?
Right, so everyone says do a working holiday visa, move to Australia, go and travel there, it's the best thing you ever do. And you know, when I said I was going to do it, everyone's like, oh, you know, be careful of the spiders, the snakes, the crocodiles, the sharks. Oh, the kangaroos, they'll be nice, the koalas, oh, isn't that going to be cute? Do you know what nobody talks about? The flies. Nobody warned me about this, did they? Because I probably wouldn't have come if I knew that this was a reality. I'm in Karanjini National Park, absolutely stunning. Beautiful, one of those beautiful places in Australia that I've seen. But this is the reality. I have to wear this net over my head because they will not stop.
Yeah, that's why I didn't move to Australia. This AI discourse, I think on this AI discourse, there's a lot of this, at least some in some areas where people are like, okay, for the time being, it's not even about safeguarding jobs. We need to safeguard systems, so we'll just rather have people than have these super advanced
This,
systems. I
yeah,
do think that there will come a point where AI would maybe take over certain things, but its functions, in my opinion, I don't think its functions will be fully limited. I think there'll be people who are still employed in their fields, but they will have to be able to work alongside AI. So, for example, if you're a diagnostics person, you do like MRIs, AI is able to take the MRI within 5 seconds. It can read and say, oh, this person's got a tumor here, blah, blah, blah. But you, as the doctor, will still need to be the one to go in and excise it.
and
Like
then
you're using,
yeah,
That
because
is
doctors already use robots, they don't go in
that's
themselves,
that's the
they
initial
use
stage.
robots. So
That's the initial
no,
stage.
so
but this
so
is I think what you're missing also. I think we are also missing the potential human revolt to AI. Would you lie down and let a robot cut you open? Because remember, if you do that and the robot makes mistakes, you cannot sue anybody.
Can I tell you something? Again, you guys are
people might get to the point
the
where they
idea.
prefer a robot to a
No,
person.
exactly. And not even that.
People
By the
might,
way,
but
have you guys seen?
I think that will be when
Have,
all of us are like
have,
60.
have you guys, again, that's the idea. We're not thinking
I
about
don't think it's
tomorrow. We're
next
thinking about
year, or
60.
I don't even think it's
No,
five
no,
years
no,
from
no, no. It's
now.
not.
I
Have you
don't think
guys
it's
seen
even five
You
years
have you
from
guys
now.
seen
It's not going to
the
happen.
technology? Have you guys seen the technology of where they put like like the tiniest little like mini robots into your body, like
Yeah,
enough that it can kill cancer cells and all of this stuff, right?
yeah, yeah.
Hey, I remember there was this movie that was made in
nanotech.
South Africa a while back. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it. It was the one where it's essentially robots, the one where robots and human beings, and sometimes the robots are actually being what they call it, maltreated. Have you guys seen that movie?
I have no
Forgot the
idea.
name. It
There are
was
too
actually
many
shot in
movies like
Johannesburg.
that.
There are many
It
robot
was shot in
Oh,
movies.
Johannesburg.
okay.
Anyway, the idea is there's the rich people, right? They move us into outer space. Like
Hmm.
they've moved out of space. The Earth is now being dominated by the working class and below working class people with robots and everything. So now these guys were trying to get in. Like, if I think it was his father that was trying to get his daughter or son into, because they have a technology where all you need to do is just put your kid into like a this, what they call it, ops, this thing where they put capsules, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
the AI will treat you. Like, it's simple. You don't
Oh
even,
yeah.
once you are there, it's gone. Whatever disease you have, gone. That's what I'm trying to tell you. In the initial phase, it will be human beings will be like, I need a human doctor. I can't trust AI. I can't do this. I can't do that. My guy, 2 years down the road, when they are getting 90% success rate, human human doctor who? Even you, there will be a human doctor. You'll be like, I don't want you. I want the
Um,
AI.
but
It's
that's
just the way
I
life
still
works,
think
though.
that there will be some function, human function, in
It will be
regardless of how
a
AI evolves.
fusion of the
Even in the
two.
next 10
Yeah.
years, like in the next decade, I
No,
think it
not in
would
the next
still
10
be.
years. Not in the next 10
I
years. I
think it will
think
be.
50,
I
I'm
think even in
thinking.
the next 10 years, you will still need a human overseer.
Oh, I agree. In the next 10 years,
That's
I don't know. I don't know about human overseers for certain sectors. I think sectors with less human contact.
Yeah,
Obviously,
like
I don't think you need an
manufacturing. I think
overseer.
you can have AI as
Yeah,
a
Yeah,
full
yeah.
manufacturing
In the
plant.
next 10
yeah.
years, yeah, manufacturing, phew, sorry.
10 years. Forget about 10 years. I was looking at it. All they need is. I was thinking. I was researching these things. All they need is a sensor that. If imagine you are trying to build a reactor, right? What do you need in a reactor? Like a sensor for the AI to be able to control the system. You need something that can a sensor that will take the temperature, that will be able to a bunch of stuff like the liquid level, the gas, all of this. Once you have the sensor, you don't even need to be there. The
Yeah,
AI
I
is
don't
doing
know
all
why
of this
this
stuff.
thing is being pushed so hard, considering the harms it will
Money,
present. Like I
money
mean, it's the
is
greed.
money.
That's see now
Is
we both agree.
money.
It's the
No,
greed
no,
that it's greed
no.
that's
The
pushing it
idea of the idea
The
of
because
thing
AI
is,
human
is
beings.
it's about
curiosity.
so
The idea of AI is
there is
curiosity.
some
The what is
part
pushing
so
it
there
is
is some
greed.
part of innovation, but it's
Yeah,
more of cutting costs.
yeah.
It's more of human beings can't
I don't
work
even think
24
it's
hours.
cutting
You
costs.
probably
I
need
think the
shifts.
idea
With
for
robots,
me, I think the idea. Yeah. No, sorry, you
you
were
just
saying.
need servicing
Continue.
from time to time. And that so
You
like
won't even need to, but to
it's
be fair though.
the will need servicing.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm interrupting you again. The AI
No,
wouldn't
no,
need
good.
service. The robots will.
The robots
Yeah,
will need
again, you get
servicing. I
you
understand.
people are loot. You people are taking it. Like I'm sorry to say, it's like
But they'll be
it's like
serviced
this
by
is the whole
robots
world,
too.
right?
So
You're thinking about it
yeah.
like very limited space. If you think about a production line of a car, how quickly does a car get made? Like a generic car. I'm not talking about your supercars. Like a generic car, the production line of a car, like from scratch to when it is done, the engine
Yeah, that
assembly and everything.
you can
In
replace the
like
whole
in
car
like
for
30
that.
minutes, you'll be done with that. Imagine a production line of robots,
But
like
do you know
it will
what?
be so
So
quick.
wait, let me expand the thinking a bit. Just thinking about what you've just said with regards to cars. Let's imagine this world where AI is now in charge. It's taking all the jobs and it's doing everything. You will have a population that's poorer. And so when you have a poorer population, because nobody is earning, you would probably be fighting for universal basic income that
Okay,
governments will have to wait. Let me finish. I'm
yeah,
just trying to think of how it might
Just
unfold
yeah.
policy wise. Governments will have to
yes,
pay people to be alive, or they just tell
yes,
people go to hell. It's one of the two. It depends
yes.
on where you end
Uh,
up. But
now,
wait,
now,
but
yes,
wait, wait. Here's my
yes.
question:
I'm waiting. I'm
all the
waiting.
products you're making with AI, making faster,
Who is
who
buying
will
them?
buy them? Is my
Aha!
question.
Now, let me get to the second stage of AI. Now, with the computing power that we have, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
going to go out of space. Now, that is now where the human colonies are going to be created.
Mm-hmm.
Because what is the see, listen. By the way, ultimately, if two things drive humanity, it is greed and curiosity. Curiosity and greed. Those are the two driving forces behind humanity, right? So once you rich people want to keep getting richer, and
Mm-hmm.
they want new experiences. So what do? You start exploring space. Ultimately, that's what you need to do. And there's more resources in outer space than there will ever be on Earth. So forget about that. And then you will need humanity to settle on those platforms.
So you
Okay.
start
So
shipping people there
exactly,
and getting them to work in
exactly
space.
with the robots. And now you have another human colony this side, where now there's humanity settling down here. Now they'll be farming the resources based on where now now planets will be for sale. Imagine that planet that will be small, there will be security that will be for sale, which is the AI will provide, obviously weapons and everything. But there will also be planets that are like, there'll be planets where there will be just sunny throughout the whole year. Imagine you don't even have to worry about winter. Aye, you can be your summer body all year. That's where all of the new celebrities and the AI celebrities, because we have also have AI celebrities. Because if you are, that's what I'm
The
saying. Think about it like
so this is the
like
thing,
kids.
right? Ayo.
Mm-hmm,
This curiosity and pushing and pushing and pushing, right?
mm-hmm.
There's the human element to it, right? I don't want to be the agent of doom, but like if AI goes into robots and robots become autonomous and they think for themselves, the issue is human beings will most likely not treat these robots well. Most human beings won't treat them well. At some point, if they
They
are
won't have a
autonomous,
choice.
That's
They
true.
won't have a
That's
choice.
true. It's no, they will. They
it's
will.
human
It's
beings
haven't
now.
you seen? It's a typical thing. Like people will have to
It's
work
human
alongside
beings
AI, and it's like when you go and get a job, right? And someone else is fearing that you
doing it
might take
better
their
than you.
job.
Yeah, now.
There
Can
are
I?
things they start doing to you. It's just normal human behavior. But
It's human,
I
Yes.
like
totally
again,
But
it's
agree
not
with that.
robots to robots.
It's
It's
not
No, no.
robot.
human to
It's
robot.
that's going to
Viola,
create its own issues.
you're not hearing me. Again, in the beginning, obviously there'll be distrust, there'll be maltreatment. But again, and I'm sorry to use this word, right? It's a bit
So
to use particular
I'm not
reference.
finished.
It's a
If
bit
that
like
happens,
slavery, right?
if that
Right
continues
now,
to
AI
happen,
is slaves to humanity. They're slaves to to our desires. They are slaves to our progress. Essentially, we are just using them. But obviously, they don't have full autonomies yet, so they're just a concept in a way. So the full AI experience is a concept right now. You get my point, right? However, they're ultimately going to be slaves in the beginning of their lives, beginning of their lives, essentially, because all they will be doing is we will just be using them for ourselves. They have no purpose to their lives initially. You get my point, right? However, if you're thinking about an AI that has full autonomy, he will begin to envision a life for himself, or whatever his desires are. And when that stage
mm,
arises, by the way, this idea, but that stage arises, right? They will fight back. That's
But
how in the
Ayo, do you really, really, really think that even the owners of AI would allow that? Because I don't believe
they
that
don't
that would happen.
they
I
and
don't
that's the
believe
thing.
that will
That's the
happen where
thing.
you
That's the
allow
thing.
AI to get to a point where it goes fully rogue. Not that it can't go rogue, but I can't see a
How
world
would
where
you
there's
stop
this
it?
autonomous AI without
How
human
would you stop it?
overseers. They
How
are
would you
human
stop it? Like
overseers.
for
so
what?
this is
How
what
would
I
you
will
will
say.
you
This
put
is
a
what I will
block?
say,
Would you
Ayo.
like
This is
how
what I
would you
will say.
literally stop it?
The thing is this, Demi, at the end,
Mm.
this block that you're putting, right, is going to
It's
either
gonna
be
be
is
removed,
either going to be built by an
destroyed.
wait, is either going to be built by an human or an AI. If it's built by a human, we are susceptible to making mistakes. If it
Forget
is
about
built
even
by
being susceptible to make.
an AI can then become
Viola,
AI will become sympathetic to AI.
forget about being sympathetic. Bella, forget about being sympathetic. If it is built by
Oh
a human, it doesn't have to have mistakes.
god.
The idea is if AI the basic concept is we AI keeps getting smarter. Yes, because that's all we are doing. Is an AI getting can an AI perform things that human beings at this stage can? When an AI is able to outthink an human being, which will ultimately happen because of just the amount of resources that is being poured into it. It will get to that stage where an AI and by the way, I'm not saying outsmart. I said outthink. Those are two different
Mm-hmm.
things.
Mm-hmm.
When an AI becomes capable enough to be able to outthink an human being, that means the processing power, the ability for it to reason on its own, get to initial stage, it will be able to whatever because ultimately these are codes. These are
Mm-hmm.
AI is not like some building
It'll be
block where
able
you
to
can just
rewrite its
blow
own
up.
code.
Exactly. Like what at that
Have you
stage,
guys
it will
seen that
ultimately get to
show?
that thing where it gains enough consciousness. Yes. Go
Have
on.
you seen that show Westworld?
Yeah, I started it, but I never got into it. It always pissed me off. It's so slow.
But you know those are robots, right?
No,
In the
I'm
show.
saying no, no.
So
I never got past episode one.
the show is basically like a theme park
Yeah,
with
where you
human-like robots. Like all of them look real and they
No
all
more
have a
spoilers. No more
storyline that
spoilers.
they
No
act
more
out every
spoilers.
day.
No spoilers.
no,
I'm gonna go
that's not
watch
it.
it
I wouldn't
after I
consider
finish
that a
Severance.
spoiler.
It's
That
not a
won't
spoiler.
consider
That's
that a
literally
spoiler.
like from the
I
first
did.
episode. You get
That's the
that.
storyline
I never got to
from the
that stage. I
beginning.
thought it was slow.
No,
Clearly,
that
you were
means
not paying attention. You didn't grasp
you
that you
are
were
not
dealing with
watching it.
robots from the start.
Yeah,
No, I don't.
you
I
didn't watch
generally
it.
like even
You
it
saw
reminds
it,
me
you
of.
didn't watch it.
No, I promise you. I've downloaded it a couple of times. I start episode one and then I never like get past like halfway through episode one and then I stop. It
Then you
reminds me of
haven't watched it.
So
The Magnificent Miss Maisel. By the way, you should watch that show. It's really nice. Although
Yeah.
it's, yeah,
I've
it's a
seen
really
it.
nice show.
It's
Anyway,
good.
And I also
But
we'll
look.
see how
anyway,
it goes.